I pulled into my driveway after visiting my sister for a month, and my key didn't work. My daughter-in-law answered the door, arms crossed, and said, "It's our house now, Art. Possession is 9/10 of the law." My son stood behind her and said nothing. I'm about to tell you exactly what happened when I pulled out the deed, but first, you need to see how far she went. My name is Art Sullivan. I'm 68 years old, spent 12 years in the Army, then another 30 as a union electrician in Akron, Ohio, built a good life, raised a son, buried a wife, and 7 months ago, I pulled into my driveway after visiting my sister in Pittsburgh for a month, and my key didn't work. I stood there on my own porch, jiggling the lock like some stranger trying to break in. The deadbolt had been changed, so had the knob. I tried the back door. Same thing. My stomach dropped. Then the front door opened, and there she was, Monica, my daughter-in-law, arms crossed, face cold. "What are you doing here, Art?" I blinked at her. "I live here." She actually smirked. "Not anymore." I thought I'd misheard. "What?" "My parents live here now." She said it calmly, like she was telling me the weather. "We moved them last week." The world tilted. I looked past her into my living room. Different furniture. My recliner, gone. Eleanor's bookshelf, gone. And there, through the doorway, I saw them, Frank and Diane, Monica's parents, unpacking boxes in what used to be my kitchen. "Monica, what the hell is going on?" She stepped onto the porch, pulling the door nearly shut behind her. "Jason and I talked about it. You don't need this much space. You were gone a whole month. You're barely here anyway. My parents needed a place. It made sense." My hands started shaking. "You can't just..." "It's done, Art." Her voice dropped. Confident. Mean. "Possession is 9/10 of the law. We're here. You're not." That's when I saw them. Black trash bags lined up along the porch railing. I walked over, opened one. Eleanor's photos, our wedding picture, her garden portraits, Jason's baby pictures, all stuffed in garbage bags like trash headed for the curb. My vision went red at the edges. "Monica." My voice came out strangled. "Where's Jason?" "Right here, Dad." I turned. My son stood in the doorway behind Monica, 34 years old, looking at his shoes like a guilty teenager. "Jason, what is this?" He opened his mouth. I closed it. I looked at Monica. She stepped closer to me, eyes hard. "It's our house now, Art. You gave us permission when you left. And like I said, possession is 9/10 of the law. You want to fight this? It'll take years in court. Meanwhile, we're settled. You're not." I stared at my son, waiting for him to say something. Anything. He just stood there. I picked up 2 of the trash bags. I walked to my truck, loaded them in the bed, came back for 2 more. Monica watched me, arms still crossed. I could see her parents through the window, pretending not to watch. I took the last bag, turned back one time. "I'll be back," I said quietly. Monica actually laughed. "No, you won't." I drove away. In my rearview mirror, I saw her close the door to my house, the house I built with my own hands, and disappear inside. She stood in my doorway, in my house, and told me the deed didn't matter, and my son didn't say a single word to stop her. I made it 3 blocks before I had to pull over. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I sat there in a grocery store parking lot, staring at nothing, trying to make sense of what just happened. After 10 minutes, my phone rang. "Monica," I answered. "Art, I know you're upset, but you need to understand. This is what's best for everyone. You gave us permission. I never gave you permission to change my locks and move your parents into my house. You left, Art. You were gone for a month. That's abandonment. Legally, we had every right to assume. Where's the deed, Monica?" Silence. Then, "What?" "The deed to the house. Where is it?" She laughed, sharp and dismissive. "That doesn't matter. We're physically here. You're not. Try to evict us. It'll take years, and you'll spend everything you have on lawyers. We consulted someone. Possession is 9/10 of the law, Art. Look it up." I heard rustling in the background, then a man's voice, nervous. "Frank, Monica, maybe we should talk about this." She cut him off. "We already talked about it. Art agreed to let us stay here while he decided what to do long term. Right, Art? I never agreed to anything. Well, you left for a month without telling us your plans. What were we supposed to think? Jason and I have been taking care of this house. We basically live here anyway. It made sense to make it official. Official how? Did you forge something? Sign my name? Another pause. When she spoke again, her voice was ice. You didn't sign anything because there was nothing to sign, Art. That's the point. The house was sitting empty. We moved in. That's it. Now it's ours. I heard Jason in the background, murmuring something I couldn't make out. Monica's voice got louder. Jason, don't. He's just trying to make us feel guilty. Then back to me. Art, this doesn't have to be ugly. We'll help you find a nice apartment. Something small, easy to manage. You're almost 70. You don't need a 3-bedroom house with a yard. This is actually better for you. Better for me. Yes, you'll see. Give it a few days. You'll realize this makes sense. I almost hung up, but I needed to hear it one more time. Monica, I built that house in 1982. Every wall, every floor. My name is on the deed. It's paid off. You have no legal claim to it. She sighed, exasperated. Art, the law doesn't work that way. Physical possession matters more than some old piece of paper in a filing cabinet. We're here. We've established residency. You'd need a court order to remove us, and good luck getting one. I heard Jason again, clearer this time. Dad, maybe it's just better this way. You don't need all this space. We can. I hung up, sat there staring at my phone. Then I started the truck and drove to a motel off Route 8. Checked in for 3 nights. Carried the trash bags full of Eleanor's photos up to the room. And I called my attorney. I built that house with my own hands in 1982, and Eleanor died in it 8 months ago. So when Monica tossed her photo in the trash, she didn't just disrespect my wife, she declared war. I couldn't sleep that first night. Just sat on the motel bed, surrounded by garbage bags, pulling out photos one at a time. Eleanor and me on our wedding day, 1978. She was 24. I was 26. Recently discharged from the Army after 12 years of service, still figuring out what civilian life looked like. We got married in a little church outside Pittsburgh, honeymooned in the Smoky Mountains, came back to Akron broke and happy. I bought the lot in '81 with my veteran's loan. Empty corner plot, half an acre, nothing on it but weeds and a rusted chain-link fence. Eleanor walked it with me on a Saturday morning, her hand in mine, and said, "This is it, Art. I can see it. I framed that house myself. Every stud, every joist. A buddy of mine from the union helped with the electrical. Another guy did the plumbing for cost. I worked nights, weekends, every spare hour. It took me 14 months. Eleanor painted the bedrooms. We planted the garden together. Tomatoes, peppers, her rose bushes. We moved in July of '82. Paid off the mortgage in 2004. 22 years of payments. Never missed one. Jason was born in '85. We brought him home to that house. Taught him to walk in that living room. Built him a treehouse in the backyard. I watched him graduate high school on that front porch. Eleanor got sick in 2019. Breast cancer, stage 3. She fought for 5 years. Chemo, radiation, surgery, more chemo. For the last 8 months, she couldn't leave the house. We set up hospice in the upstairs bedroom, the same room where we'd slept for 40 years. She died there in March, holding my hand, the morning light coming through the window she'd picked out in 1982. I buried her on a Thursday. Jason came to the funeral. Monica came too, in a black dress, saying all the right things. I'm so sorry, Art. She was an amazing woman. If you need anything. 2 weeks later, Monica started asking questions. When was I planning to downsize? Had I thought about selling? Wouldn't it be easier to live somewhere smaller, with less maintenance? I told her I wasn't ready to think about that. A month after the funeral, I caught her measuring the living room with a tape measure. Just getting ideas, she said. For when you're ready. I should have known then. Eleanor knew. 3 days before she died, she squeezed my hand, looked me straight in the eye, and said, Art, when I'm gone, don't let anyone take advantage of you, not even Jason. I'd promised her, though she was just scared, confused from the medication. But she was warning me. She'd seen something in Monica I'd missed. Maybe she'd seen it in Jason too. I put the photos back in the bags, carefully this time. stacked them in the corner of the motel room. Then I pulled out the manila folder I'd grabbed from my truck. Inside, the deed to the house, my name, sole owner, paid in full. Monica said it didn't matter. She was wrong. I want you to comment below. Where are you right now, and have you ever been betrayed by the last person you thought would hurt you? I'm serious. I want to know. Drop your city, what time it is there, and tell me, has someone you trusted ever looked you in the eye and taken something that wasn't theirs? A business partner? A sibling? Your own kid? Because that night, sitting in that motel room at 68 years old, surrounded by trash bags full of my dead wife's photos, I felt like the dumbest man alive. I kept replaying it. The signs I'd missed. Monica's questions after Eleanor died. Always casual. Always wrapped in concern. Art, are you sure you want to stay in such a big house? All those stairs, all that yard work. Wouldn't a condo make more sense? The measuring tape incident. She'd laughed it off, but I remembered her face when I walked in. Guilty, caught. Then the apartment listings. 3 months after Eleanor passed, I found them on the kitchen counter. Printed pages from some rental website. 1-bedroom places across town. Monica said she'd grabbed them, just in case. I wanted to look. No pressure, Art. Just options. I'd ignored every single red flag because I loved my son. Because I thought Monica was trying to help. Because grief makes you stupid and people know it. That's what predators do. They wait until you're vulnerable, until you're tired, sad, distracted. Then they move in, and I'd let her. I thought about calling Jason that night, demanding answers, asking him how he could stand there silent while his wife threw his mother's pictures in the trash like garbage. But I didn't, because somewhere in the back of my mind, I heard Eleanor's voice. Watch, wait, then act. So instead, I read through comments on videos like this one, stories from men who'd been screwed over by family, by business partners, by people they'd trusted. I wasn't alone. That helped. If you're watching this and you've been there, betrayed by someone close, hit the like button. Let me know I'm not crazy, that what happened to me was as wrong as it felt. And if you want to see how this ends, subscribe, because this story doesn't stop at a motel room. It doesn't end with me accepting what Monica did. I'm a patient man. The Army taught me that. 30 years as an electrician reinforced it. You don't rush a job. You plan, you prepare, you execute. Monica thought she'd won because she changed the locks and moved her parents in, but she made one critical mistake. She assumed I'd roll over, that I was too old, too tired, too grief-stricken to fight back. She was wrong about that too. Before you move on, do me a favor. Comment below. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me if you've ever had to stand up to someone who thought you were weak, because what comes next isn't about revenge. It's about justice. And justice, done right, is patient. I picked up my phone that night and made one call to Dennis Kowalski, my attorney for 30 years. Dennis, I said, I need your help, and I need you to trust me on the timing. He listened. Then he said, Art, how far are you willing to take this? I looked at Eleanor's photo on the nightstand. As far as it needs to go. Dennis looked at me over his coffee and said, Art, you don't need to fight them in court. You just need to show the cops the deed and they're out. But I wasn't ready to end it yet. We met at a diner the next morning. Dennis was already in a booth when I arrived. Reading glasses perched on his nose, legal pad in front of him. He's 72, been practicing law since before I bought that house. Handled my will, Eleanor's estate, every piece of paperwork I'd needed for 40 years. He stood when he saw me, shook my hand. His grip was firm. Tell me everything, he said. So I did. The month at Carol's, coming home to change locks, Monica's speech about possession and law, the trash bags, Jason's silence. Dennis's jaw got tighter with every sentence. When I finished, he leaned back, took off his glasses, rubbed his eyes. Art, did you sign anything? Any document transferring ownership? Quitclaim deed? Power of attorney? Nothing. Did you give verbal permission for them to move in? No. I told Monica and Jason they could check on the house while I was gone, water the plants, grab the mail. That's it. Dennis nodded slowly. He pulled out his phone, typed something, then looked up. "Do you have the deed with you?" I slid the manila folder across the table. He opened it, scanned the document, nodded again. "This is clear. House is in your name alone, paid in full. No liens, no encumbrances. Monica's claim is legally worthless." Something in my chest loosened. So what do? We file for immediate eviction on grounds of criminal trespassing. I can have the paperwork ready this afternoon. The sheriff serves them notice. They have 72 hours to vacate. If they refuse, the sheriff physically removes them and we pursue charges. He said it so simply, like it was already done. How long will it take? To get them out? A week, maybe less. Ohio law is very clear on this. Possession without title means nothing. They're trespassers, Art. This isn't a landlord-tenant situation. You don't owe them an eviction process. You just remove them. I sat there, staring at my coffee. This was it. The solution. Simple, legal, fast. But something stopped me. "Dennis, what if I wait?" He frowned. "Wait for what?" "I want to see how far they'll go. Art, I want Jason to see what he married. I want Monica to get comfortable, confident. I want her to really believe she got away with it." Dennis set down his glasses, studied my face. "Why?" "Because if I kick them out today, Monica will spin this. She'll play the victim. She'll say I'm a bitter old man who tricked them, led them on, changed my mind. She'll make herself the hero and me the villain." "You don't care what she says?" "No, but I care what Jason sees. Right now he's still defending her. He's still on her side. I need him to watch her destroy herself. I need him to see who she really is when she thinks she's won." Dennis was quiet for a long moment. "This is about closure," he finally said. "Not revenge. Maybe both." He sighed, picked up his pen. "How long do you want to wait? I'll know when it's time. Art, the longer you wait, the more damage they'll do to that house. And the more it'll hurt." I nodded. "I know. And you're okay with that?" I thought of Eleanor's photo in the trash. "Yeah," I said. "I'm okay with that." Dennis made a note on his legal pad. "Call me when you're ready. I'll have everything prepared." We shook hands. I left the diner, and I drove back to the motel. I sat in a $60 a night motel room, staring at photos of strangers eating dinner in my house, while my son pretended I didn't exist. The extended stay off Route 8 became my base. Small room, kitchenette, single bed. Clean enough, anonymous. The kind of place you stay when your life falls apart and you need somewhere cheap to land, while you figure out what comes next. I unpacked slowly. Clothes in the dresser, toiletries in the bathroom, Eleanor's photo on the nightstand, our wedding picture, her smile bright and young and full of hope, the deed in the folder, tucked into the desk drawer. Then I did something I'd never done before. I created a Facebook account. Took me most of the afternoon to figure out. I'd never needed social media. Eleanor had an account, posted garden photos and recipes. I'd never seen the point, but now I needed to see what Monica was doing, what she was saying. I found her page easily. Public profile, hundreds of friends, and there, posted 6 hours ago, a photo of my living room, new furniture, beige sectional sofa where my recliner used to be, different curtains, a flat-screen TV mounted on the wall. The caption read, "New chapter. So blessed to have this beautiful space. Grateful every day. 73 likes, 22 comments. Gorgeous. You deserve this. Love the new couch. Where'd you get it? Beautiful home, Monica. Congratulations." My hands tightened on the phone. Jason had liked the post. No comment. Just a thumbs up. I scrolled back through her timeline. 3 days ago. A photo of Frank and Diane on my back porch, holding coffee mugs, smiling. Mom and Dad settling in. Best decision we ever made. 5 days ago. Feeling so grateful for family and new beginnings. A week ago. A selfie of Monica and Jason in my kitchen. Jason looked tired. Monica was grinning. "Home sweet home with my love." I closed the app. I opened my messages, typed, "Jason, we need to talk." I stared at it for a minute. Then I hit send. The 3 dots appeared immediately. He was typing. Then they stopped. No response. I waited an hour, 2 hours. Nothing. The next day I tried calling. Straight to voicemail. I texted again. "Jason, I know you're there. We need to talk about the house." No reply. A week passed like that. Me in the motel room, eating microwave meals, walking to the diner down the street for breakfast, checking Facebook obsessively. Monica posted every single day. New kitchen utensils. A photo of Diane baking cookies in my oven. Frank watching TV in my den. Monica in Eleanor's garden, pruning the rose bushes, Eleanor's roses, with the caption, "Discovering my green thumb." Every post got dozens of likes. Everyone congratulating her, celebrating her. No one asked where I was. No one mentioned my name. It was like I'd been erased. Dennis called every few days. "You ready, Art?" Every time. I said no, not yet. "What are you waiting for?" I didn't have a good answer. Just a feeling. I needed to see more. I needed Monica to keep going. I needed Jason to keep choosing her over me. Because somewhere deep down, I still wanted to be wrong. I still wanted my son to call, to apologize, to say, "Dad, this is insane. Come home." But he didn't. The only person who called was Carol. "Art?" I saw her Facebook. "She's posting about her house. Are you seriously just sitting there watching this?" "For now," I said. "Why?" I looked at Eleanor's photo. "Because I need to know if he's really gone." "Who, Jason?" "Yeah." Carol was quiet. Then, "Art, he's already gone. You're just torturing yourself." Maybe she was right, but I wasn't ready to admit it yet. My son called to tell me I should move out permanently, from the house I owned outright, and when I reminded him the deed was in my name, he went silent and never called again. Week 3. I was eating breakfast at the diner when the notification popped up. Monica had posted again. This time, a photo of a massive flat-screen TV mounted above my fireplace. Had to be 75 inches, maybe bigger. The caption, "Upgraded the living room. Can't wait for football season." I zoomed in on the photo. I could see the price sticker still on the corner of the screen. $2,200. She was spending like the house was hers. I scrolled further. 2 days ago. Patio furniture. Expensive stuff. Teak or eucalyptus. Cushions thick and pristine. The table alone probably cost $1,000. 5 days ago. A photo of contractors in the backyard, installing something. I clicked through to the next image. A hot tub. One of those fancy 6-person models with the LED lights and jets. The caption, "Dream backyard coming together. Frank deserves to relax in style." I set down my coffee, felt the anger rise, sharp and hot. She was spending thousands, tens of thousands, on furniture, electronics, landscaping, treating my house like her personal shopping spree. My phone buzzed. A text from Carol. "Have you seen her Facebook? Art, she's redecorating your entire house. Are you going to do something or not?" I didn't respond. Another buzz. "Come stay with me. Get out of that motel. This is insane." I turned off my phone, sat there staring at the wall, breathing slowly, trying to keep the rage under control. That afternoon, Jason finally called. I answered on the first ring. "Dad." His voice was tight, nervous. "Jason." Silence. I waited. "Dad, we should talk. I've been saying that for 3 weeks. I know, I'm sorry. Monica she's been stressed, moving her parents, getting everything set up. It's been a lot." I didn't say anything. "Look, Dad, I think maybe it would be better if you stayed with Aunt Carol for a while. Like, permanently. We could send your stuff, your clothes, whatever you need. But this arrangement, it's working for us, for Monica's parents. And you don't really need the house, right? It's too big for one person anyway." I closed my eyes. "Jason, the house is mine, legally. You understand that, right?" Silence. "My name is on the deed. It's paid off. Monica can't just take it because she moved in." More silence. Then, quietly, "Monica says possession means nothing without a title. Did you talk to a lawyer?" Monica talked to someone. "Who?" "I don't know. A friend of hers. Someone who knows real estate law." "Jason, I built that house with my own hands. I raised you there. Your mother died there 8 months ago. You stood silent while Monica threw her pictures in the trash. Do you understand what you're doing?" His voice cracked. "Dad, Monica's my wife. I have to support her. And I'm your father. You had to support me." Silence. I waited. Give him the space to say something. Anything. He didn't. "Goodbye, Jason." I hung up. The phone rang again immediately. I declined the call. It rang twice more. I turned it off. That evening, Monica posted another update, a photo of her and Diane in the kitchen, glasses of wine in hand, smiling at the camera, the caption, "Living our best life with the best people. Cheers to new beginnings." I stared at that photo for a long time. Then I opened my laptop and created a document, started writing down every post, every purchase, every piece of evidence, building my case, not for court, for Jason. So when this was over, he'd know exactly what he'd chosen. 3 days before Eleanor died, she squeezed my hand and said, "Don't let anyone take advantage of you when I'm gone, not even Jason." And I thought she was just scared, but she was giving me a roadmap. I couldn't stop thinking about that conversation. It was early March, late afternoon. Eleanor had been unconscious most of the day, the morphine keeping her comfortable. The hospice nurse had warned me. Days, not weeks. I sat beside her bed, holding her hand, watching her breathe, each breath shallow and slow. Then her eyes opened, clear, focused. "Art." I leaned in. "I'm here, Ellie." She squeezed my hand, stronger than I'd expected. "Listen to me." "I'm listening." "When I'm gone." She paused, gathering strength. "Don't let anyone take advantage of you." "No one's going to." "Art." Her voice was firm. "Listen, people show you who they are when they think you're vulnerable, when they think you won't fight back." I nodded, not really understanding, thinking she was worried about scammers, con artists, the kind of people who prey on widowers. "Watch people," she continued. "Watch what they do, not what they say, what they do, okay? And Art," she pulled my hand closer. "Not even Jason." I froze. "What?" "If something feels wrong, it is wrong. Don't ignore it because you love him. Don't let guilt make you blind. Eleanor, Jason wouldn't." "Watch, wait, then act." Her eyes locked on mine. "Promise me." "I promise." She smiled, weak but real. "You're stronger than you think. You'll know what to do when the time comes." Those were the last clear words she spoke to me. 3 days later, she was gone. I'd thought about that conversation 1,000 times since the funeral, replayed it in my mind. At the time, I'd assumed she was just afraid of dying, afraid of leaving me alone, afraid I'd be lost without her. But sitting in that motel room, watching Monica parade through my house like she owned it, I finally understood. Eleanor had seen something I'd missed. She'd watched Monica at family dinners, asking subtle questions about our finances, about the house, about my plans. She'd noticed Monica measuring the living room, browsing real estate apps when she thought no one was looking. She'd heard the tone in Monica's voice when she talked about downsizing and simplifying and what Art really needed. Eleanor knew, and she'd tried to warn me. I pulled out Eleanor's photo, the one from our wedding. She was wearing her mother's veil, holding a bouquet of daisies, smiling like the world was full of good things. "I'm watching, Ellie," I whispered. "Just like you said." I thought about her other piece of advice. Watch what they do, not what they say. Monica said she wanted to help me. She said the house was too much for me. She said this was better. But what she did was change the locks, throw Eleanor's pictures in the trash, move her parents in without asking, spend thousands of dollars on furniture and renovations. Jason said he loved me. He said he was sorry things were complicated. But what he did was stand silent while his wife stole my house. He ignored my calls. He asked me to leave permanently. Their actions told the truth. Wait, then act. I wasn't ready to act. Not yet. But I was watching. Every post, every purchase, every lie. And when the time came, I'd know exactly what to do. I set Eleanor's photo back on the nightstand, next to the deed. 2 promises, one to her memory, one to myself. I was keeping both. My sister looked at Monica's Facebook posts and said, "Art, she's not redecorating. She's erasing you." And that's when I knew I was doing the right thing by waiting. Week 5, a knock on the motel room door. I opened it, and there was Carol, 65, gray hair pulled back, face tight with anger. "You look like hell," she said. "Come in." She pushed past me, set her purse on the desk, looked around the tiny room, the unmade bed, The microwave dinners stacked on the counter, Eleanor's photo, the deed folder, Art. What are you doing? Waiting. For what? For Monica to burn the house down? For Jason to wake up? What? I sat on the edge of the bed. Carol stayed standing. I needed to see you, she said, softer. Make sure you're okay. I'm fine. You're not fine. You're living in a $60 motel room while strangers live in your house. That's not fine. I didn't argue. She pulled out her phone, opened Facebook. Have you seen this? I nodded. She scrolled through Monica's timeline, shaking her head. The TV, the patio furniture, the hot tub, the wine photos, the smiling selfies. Art. She's not just living in your house. She's redecorating it like a trophy, like she won something. This is sick. I know. Then why are you letting it happen? I looked at Eleanor's photo. Because I want Jason to see what he married. Carol sat down beside me. Jason already sees it. Art. He just doesn't care. Maybe. Not maybe. Definitely. He chose her. He's still choosing her. Every day you wait is another day you're torturing yourself for no reason. I shook my head. I need him to see it fully. I need Monica to go so far that even Jason can't deny what she is. Carol was quiet for a moment. Then, this isn't about revenge, is it? No. It's about closure. I nodded. I need to know if there's anything left of my son, if there's any part of him that'll stand up to her. And if there's not, I trailed off. Then you need to see it, so you can let him go. Yeah. She put her arm around my shoulders, pulled me close. We sat like that for a while. Eleanor would understand, Carol finally said. You think? Yeah. She always said you were patient to a fault, that you needed to see things all the way through before you could move on. She'd be proud of you for not doing something rash, for thinking this through. I hoped she was right. Carol stayed for an hour. We grabbed coffee at the diner, sat in a booth, and talked about everything except the house, her grandkids, her job at the library, the trip she was planning to Asheville, normal things, life things. It helped. Before she left, she hugged me tight in the motel parking lot. You call me when you're ready to act, she said. I'll be there. Whatever you need. Thanks, Carol. And Art, when this is over, you're coming to stay with me for a while. No arguments. I nodded. She drove away. I went back inside. I opened Facebook. Monica had posted again. A photo of the dining room, completely redecorated. New table, new chairs, new light fixture. The caption, can't stop, won't stop. This house is coming together beautifully. 46 likes. I closed the app. Carol was right. Monica wasn't redecorating. She was erasing me. Every trace of Eleanor, every memory, every sign I'd ever lived there. And she was documenting it, broadcasting it, celebrating it. Perfect. Let her keep going. Let her get comfortable. Because the higher she climbed, the harder she'd fall. And I was patient enough to wait. Some of you are probably screaming, just kick her out already. But trust me, what's coming is worth the wait. I want to pause here for a second. Check in with you. Are you still with me? Because I know what some of you are thinking. Art, you've got the deed. You've got the law on your side. Just call the cops and throw them out. Why are you dragging this out? And I get it. Believe me, part of me wanted to do exactly that. But here's the thing. If I'd kicked Monica out after week 1, what would have happened? She would have cried victim. She would have told everyone I was a bitter old man who promised them the house and then changed my mind. She would have played the wronged daughter-in-law, forced out by her cruel father-in-law who couldn't handle her being happy, and people would have believed her. Because she's good at this. She's good at spinning stories, at making herself the hero. But if I wait, if I let her keep going, if I let her spend thousands of dollars, redecorate every room, post about it online like she owns the place, then when I pull the rug out, there's no story she can tell that makes her look good. Drop a comment right now. How would you handle this? Would you strike immediately? Or would you let her dig her own grave? I want to hear from you, because I spent hours reading comments on videos like this one. Stories from men who'd been betrayed, who'd watched people steal from them, lie to them, gaslight them. And you know what I learned? Patience pays. One guy said, I'd burn the house down. I get it, brother. Tempting, but arson's a felony. and Monica's not worth 20 years in prison. Another said, take her to court right now. Also tempting, but courts take time, and while the case dragged on, Monica would still be in my house, still spending my equity, still playing victim. No, I wanted her to be confident. I wanted her so sure she'd won that she'd stop being careful, stop covering her tracks, stop pretending. I wanted her to show the world exactly who she was, and watching her do it was torture. I'm not going to lie. Every post felt like a knife. Every photo of her smiling in Eleanor's kitchen, sitting in my den, working in my yard, it burned. But I kept watching, keep documenting. I kept waiting. If you're still with me, hit the like button. Let me know you understand why I did this. Let me know you're invested in seeing how it ends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because this story is about to take a turn. Monica's about to learn a very important lesson, the one Eleanor tried to teach her son, and that I tried to teach Jason when he was growing up, but apparently didn't stick. Actions have consequences, and patience isn't weakness, it's a strategy. I sat in that motel room for 7 weeks, watching, waiting, letting Monica build her dream life in my house, and the whole time, I had the deed in a folder on the desk. One piece of paper, that's all it took. One piece of paper, and Monica's entire world was about to collapse. So stick with me, because we're almost there. The part where I stop watching and start acting. The part where Monica learns that possession isn't 9/10 of the law. It's nothing, and I'm about to prove it. My son stood in front of me, crying, asking if we could work something out, and I realized he wasn't there to apologize. He was there to negotiate my surrender. Week 6, early evening. I was loading laundry into the truck, headed to the laundromat down the street, when a car pulled into the motel parking lot. Jason's Honda. He got out slowly. It looked terrible, thinner than I'd ever seen him, dark circles under his eyes, hair unwashed. I stopped, laundry basket in hand, waited. Dad, he said, can we talk? I set the basket in the truck bed, closed the tailgate. I turned to face him. Talk. He stepped closer, nervous, fidgeting with his car keys. I know things have been hard. I know you're upset, and I get it. I do. I didn't say anything. But Dad, Monica's been under a lot of pressure. Her parents needed a place to live. She was just trying to help them. And yeah, maybe she went about it the wrong way, but her heart was in the right place. I crossed my arms. And the thing is, Dad, you don't really need that house. It's too big for one person. Too much maintenance. You said it yourself after Mom died. It felt empty. I never said that. He blinked. You did. You said it felt empty without Mom. I said I missed her. Not that I wanted to leave. Right, but it's the same thing, isn't it? The house is full of memories. Painful memories. Wouldn't it be easier somewhere smaller? Somewhere you could start fresh? I stared at him. Really looked at him. My son. He is 34 years old. Standing in a motel parking lot, trying to convince me to give up my home so his wife didn't have to admit she was wrong. Jason, you want to negotiate me out of my own property? His face twisted. That's not, Dad, I'm trying to find a solution here. Something that works for everyone. I already have a solution. I own the house. I move back in. Monica and her parents leave. But Dad, they've already settled in. They've spent money. They've made it their home. It's not their home, Jason. It's mine. He ran a hand through his hair. Can't we just work something out? Maybe you take the house, sell it, and we split the money. Or you let them stay for a year, and they pay you rent, and then... Jason, my voice came out hard, cold. I'm not negotiating. The house is mine, legally, completely. Monica's claim is a fantasy, and you know it. Silence. His eyes welled up. Dad, she's my wife. I have to support her. And I'm your father. You had to support me. He flinched like I'd hit him. You stood there silent while she threw your mother's pictures in the trash. I continued. You let her change the locks on the house I built with my own hands. You ignored my calls for 6 weeks. And now you're here, asking me to work something out, so Monica doesn't have to face consequences. Dad, you made your choice, Jason. Tears spilled down his cheeks. Dad, please, I love you. I don't want to lose you. I looked at him. This man used to be my son. Then you should have acted like it when it mattered. I turned, climbed into the truck, started the engine. In the rearview mirror, I watched Jason standing there, shoulders shaking, crying. I pulled out of the parking lot, didn't look back, and for the first time in 6 weeks, I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no hope, just nothing. That's how I knew it was over. My son was gone. All that was left was the house, and I was taking it back. When Monica posted that her parents were living their retirement dream in my house and someone asked where I was, she said I was happier in a smaller place. That's when I called my lawyer and said, "End this." Week 7. I'd stopped checking Facebook obsessively. Once a day, maybe twice. The posts all looked the same now. Monica smiled. Her parents were smiling. The house looked less and less like the place Eleanor and I had built. But this one stopped me cold. It was a photo of Frank and Diane in the backyard. They were sitting in the new hot tub, holding drinks, looked like margaritas, smiling at the camera. Sunset behind them, golden light, the whole scene staged and perfect. The caption, "Mom and Dad's retirement dream home. So grateful we could make this happen for them. They deserve every bit of happiness. Family, first, blessed, grateful." I stared at that hashtag, family first. My vision blurred. I scrolled down to the comments. "This is beautiful, Monica. You're such a good daughter. Gorgeous space. Where is this? Your parents look so happy. What a blessing." And then, halfway down, "This is lovely. Where's Art? Is he enjoying retirement too?" I held my breath. Monica's reply appeared below it. "Art's happier in a smaller place now. More manageable for him at his age. Win-win." I closed the laptop, sat there in the motel room, hands flat on the desk, breathing slowly through my nose. She'd erased me, completely. In her version of the story, I'd willingly moved to a smaller place. I was happy. This was a mutual decision. A win-win. No mention of the changed locks, the thrown-away photos, the stolen house. Just, Art's happier now. I opened the laptop again, read the comment thread. People believed her. Of course they did. "That's so sweet that you thought of his needs. It's hard when parents age. Good for you for helping him transition." I felt something crack inside me. Not anger. Not anymore. Something colder. Harder. I picked up my phone, called Dennis. He answered on the second ring. "Art, I'm ready." Silence. Then, "You're sure?" "Yeah." "What changed?" I looked at the laptop screen, at Monica's smiling face, her parents in my hot tub. The comments praised her for being such a good daughter. "She rewrote history," I said quietly. "She's telling people I left voluntarily, that I'm happy. That was my idea. Art, people online don't matter. It's not about them. It's about her. She actually believes her own lie now. She thinks she's the hero here." Dennis was quiet for a moment. "All right, I'll have the eviction paperwork ready by tomorrow morning. We'll file immediately. The sheriff will serve the notice within 48 hours. How long until they're out? 72 hours from service. If they refuse to leave, the sheriff escorts them out, and we pursue criminal trespassing charges. Do it. Art, once we start this, it's going to get ugly. Monica will fight. She'll make accusations. I don't care." Another pause. "Okay. I'll call you tomorrow when it's filed." "Thanks, Dennis." I hung up, sat there staring at Eleanor's photo. I waited. "Ellie," I whispered, "just like you said." I watched, and now I'm acting. I packed my duffel bag. Didn't have much. Clothes, toiletries, the deed, the photos. Everything else could stay here, because in 72 hours, I was going home, and Monica was about to learn the difference between possession and ownership, the difference between wanting something and deserving it, the difference between lies and law. I smiled, not from happiness, from certainty. The waiting was over. The sheriff handed Monica the eviction notice, and within 2 hours she'd called me 15 times, but I didn't answer once because after 7 weeks of her silence, she could wait too. Dennis called me Thursday morning. "It's filed. Sheriff's on his way to serve the notice now." I was in the diner, halfway through eggs and toast. I set down my fork. "How long before they deliver it?" "Should be there within the hour." I told them to serve it to whoever answers the door. Once it's signed for, The 72-hour clock starts, and if they refuse to sign, doesn't matter. The sheriff will leave it on the property and photograph it. That's legally sufficient. I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. Thanks, Dennis. Art, I need you to stay away from the house until this is done. Don't drive by, don't contact them, don't engage. Let the law handle it. I understand. I'm serious. If Monica claims harassment or intimidation, it complicates things. I won't go near them. Good. I'll call you after it's served. I finished my breakfast slowly, drank my coffee, paid the check. Then I went back to the motel and waited. 90 minutes later, Dennis called again. It's done. Frank signed for it. What did he say? According to the sheriff, he went pale, asked what it was about. The sheriff told him to read it and contact an attorney if he had questions. That's it. And Monica? She was there. She read it over Frank's shoulder. I started laughing, said it was a bluff. Of course she did. The notice is clear. Dennis continued. 72 hours to vacate for unlawful trespassing. Failure to comply results in forced removal by law enforcement and potential criminal charges. She still thinks she can fight this. Let her think that. Makes our job easier. We hung up. I sat on the edge of the motel bed staring at my phone. 30 seconds later, it rang. Monica. I watched it ring. Didn't answer. Voicemail notification. I didn't listen. 2 minutes later, she called again. Again, I let it ring. Voicemail. Then again. And again. By 6 o'clock, she'd called 15 times. I listened to the first voicemail. Her voice, tight and angry. Art, what the hell is this? Some eviction notice? This is ridiculous. You can't just call me back. We need to talk about this. Delete. Second voicemail. Art, I'm serious. This is harassment. You can't kick us out. We live here. We've established residency. I talked to someone, and they said you need a formal eviction process, and that takes months. So whatever you're trying to pull, it's not going to work. Call me. Delete. The messages got more frantic as the day went on. Third, Art, you're being completely unreasonable. We had a deal. You gave us permission to be here. Fourth, I'll sue you for elder abuse, for emotional distress. You can't do this. Fifth, okay, look, maybe we can work something out. We'll pay rent. Reasonable rent. Just let us stay, please. Sixth, my parents have nowhere to go, Art. Nowhere. You're going to make them homeless? What kind of person does that? I deleted every single one without listening all the way through. Around 8 p.m., Jason called. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Dad? His voice was desperate. Dad, please, Monica's freaking out. She's crying. She says you're trying to make her parents homeless. Jason, they're trespassing in my house. I'm correcting that. But Dad, I hung up. He didn't call back. At 9 p.m., one final voicemail from Monica, her voice broken, sobbing. Art, please. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We'll leave. Just give us time, please. We need time to find a place. I listened to the whole thing. Then I texted Dennis. No extensions. 72 hours. He replied immediately. Understood. I turned off my phone, and I slept better than I had in 7 weeks. Monica left me 8 voicemails in one day. Anger, threats, begging, tears, and I deleted every single one without listening all the way through, because I'd already heard everything I needed to hear 7 weeks ago when she said, "It's our house now." Friday morning, my phone was full of notifications. 6 more calls from Monica overnight. 3 texts, 2 from Jason. I made coffee in the motel kitchenette, sat at the little desk, opened the voicemails. Monica's voice, first message, timestamp 11:47 p.m. Art, you need to stop this right now. I've contacted a lawyer. They said what you're doing is illegal. You can't just evict someone without proper notice. We have rights. Tenant rights. You're going to regret this. Delete. Second message, 1:23 a.m. I know you're ignoring me. That's fine. But you should know, we're not leaving. You want to drag this through court? Fine. We'll see you there. And when the judge hears how you abandoned us, how you gave us permission and then changed your mind, you're going to look like a fool. Delete. Third message, 3:08 a.m. Art, please. I can't sleep. Frank's having chest pains. Diane's having a panic attack. You're literally giving my father a heart attack. Is this what you want? To kill him? Please just talk to me. Delete. Fourth message, 6:15 a.m. Her voice is calmer now, controlled. Art, let's be adults here. We can negotiate. You want the house? Fine, we'll leave. But we need compensation, moving costs, storage fees, emotional damages. We've put thousands of dollars into this place. You owe us. I almost laughed. Delete. I opened the texts. Monica, answer your phone. Monica, this is childish. We need to talk. Jason, Dad, please. Monica's parents are elderly. They can't just move out in 72 hours. Can you give them more time? Please? Jason, I know you're angry. I get it. But this is cruel. I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I called Dennis. How are they doing? I asked, panicking from what I hear. Monica called my office 4 times yesterday. I didn't take the calls. Good. She also contacted a legal aid office. They told her she has no case. She's not a tenant. No lease, no rental agreement, no legal basis for staying. She's not backing down, though. No. But that's her problem, not ours. The clock's ticking. They've got until Sunday at noon. What happens if they're still there? I've already coordinated with the sheriff. They'll arrive at 12:01 p.m. with a locksmith. If Monica and her parents are still inside, they'll be physically escorted out and charged with criminal trespassing. Will they arrest them? Depends. If they leave voluntarily when the sheriff arrives, probably not. If they resist? Absolutely. I nodded, staring out the motel window. Art, you sure you want to be there for this? Yeah, it's going to be ugly. I know. We hung up. Saturday passed slowly. More calls from Monica. More texts from Jason. I didn't answer any of them. Saturday night, one final voicemail. Monica's voice completely broken. Art, I'm begging you, please. We'll leave. We'll go Monday. Just give us one extra day. One day to find a place, pack our things. Please. I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry I was cruel. I'm sorry I didn't understand. Just, please, have mercy. I sat there listening to her sob, and I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no pity, nothing. I deleted the message. Set my alarm for 9 a.m. Sunday was going to be a long day, and I wanted to be there for every minute of it. I'll never forget the look on Monica's face when the officer said, "Ma'am, this is his house. You need to leave now." It was the exact moment she realized possession wasn't 9/10 of anything. Sunday, 11:30 a.m. I pulled up to the house in my truck. Dennis was already there, parked across the street. 2 sheriff's cruisers sat in the driveway. A locksmith's van idled at the curb. I climbed out. Dennis met me on the sidewalk. "You ready?" he asked. Yeah. We walked up the driveway together. One of the deputies, a young guy with a buzz cut, nodded to us. "Mr. Sullivan, that's me. I'm Deputy Harris. We're here to enforce the eviction order. Do you have the deed?" I handed him the folder. He opened it, scanned the document, nodded. "This is clear. You're the sole legal owner." He looked at the house. "Are they still inside?" "Far as I know." "All right, stay here. Let us handle this." He walked to the front door, knocked. Loud, official. 30 seconds later, Monica opened it. Her eyes were red, swollen. She'd been crying. When she saw the deputies, her face went pale. "Ma'am, I'm Deputy Harris. We're here to enforce a lawful eviction order. You and anyone else inside this residence need to vacate immediately." "This is insane." Her voice was hoarse. "We live here. We have rights. Ma'am, do you have a lease or rental agreement with the property owner?" "No, but..." "Are you listed on the deed?" "No, but possession." "Ma'am." Harris's voice stayed calm, professional. "Possession without legal ownership is trespassing. Mr. Sullivan owns this property outright. You have no legal claim to be here. You were given 72 hours notice. That time has expired. You need to leave now." Monica's face crumbled. She turned, looked past the deputy, saw me standing on the sidewalk. "Art," her voice broke. "Art, please. We need more time. Just a few more days." Deputy Harris stepped slightly to the side, blocking her view of me. "Ma'am, I need you to gather your personal belongings and exit the property. You have 30 minutes. 30 minutes? We can't pack everything in 30 minutes. You can take what you can carry. Anything left behind becomes the property owner's responsibility." Behind Monica, I saw movement. Frank and Diane appearing in the hallway, faces shocked and pale. "Monica, what's happening?" Diane's voice, shaky. "They're kicking us out." Monica spun toward her parents. "Right now. They're kicking us out. Ma'am, you need to start packing." Harris nodded to the other deputy, who stepped inside. For the next 30 minutes, I watched. Monica and her parents are scrambling. Trash bags stuffed with clothes, toiletries, random items grabbed in panic. Frank carried out a suitcase. Diane, crying, carried a box of kitchen items. Jason's car pulled up. He jumped out, ran to Monica. "What's happening?" "They're throwing us out," Monica screamed at him. "Do something." Jason turned to the deputies. "Can't you give them more time?" "No, sir. The eviction order is final." Jason looked at me, his face twisted with something, anger, desperation, shame. I stood there, arms crossed, silent. He turned away. At 12:28 p.m., Deputy Harris addressed Monica one final time. "Ma'am, time's up. You need to leave now or you'll be arrested for trespassing." Monica, face streaked with tears, grabbed one last bag. "Look at me. I hope you're happy, Art." I didn't respond. She walked to her car. Frank and Diane followed, carrying what they could. Jason lingered a moment. Then he left too. The deputies cleared the house, confirmed it was empty. "It's yours, Mr. Sullivan." I walked inside. My house. Finally, Monica's parents stopped talking to her. Her marriage imploded, and her Facebook went dark, all because she convinced herself that wanting something was the same as owning it. I didn't hear what happened next directly. Carol told me. She'd kept tabs through mutual acquaintances, people who knew Monica's family. Frank and Diane found a cheap apartment across town. 1 bedroom, subsidized housing for seniors. They moved in within a week, and they stopped speaking to Monica entirely. According to Carol's source, Frank blamed her for everything, for convincing them to move into a house she didn't own, for promising them a retirement dream that wasn't hers to give, for humiliating them in front of law enforcement. Diane apparently cried for days. Monica and Jason's marriage didn't survive either. They fought constantly, screaming matches every night, neighbors complaining. Monica blamed Jason for not protecting her, for not standing up to me, for losing them everything. Jason, hollow-eyed and broken, moved out 6 weeks later, stayed on a friend's couch. Monica ended up in a motel, different one from mine, but still. The irony wasn't lost on me. Her Facebook went completely dark. Every post from the past 2 months, deleted. The photos of the house, the furniture, her parents in the hot tub, all gone. Her profile picture changed to a generic sunset. No posts, no updates. Friends stopped commenting. People who'd congratulated her, celebrated her, praised her generosity, they all disappeared. Carol told me Monica started telling people I'd kicked her out, that I'd tricked them, promised them the house, then changed my mind out of spite. But no one believed her, because the truth was documented. The eviction order was public record. I didn't defend myself. I didn't need to. The truth stood on its own. I listed the house for sale the following week. I signed the will change in Dennis's office on a Tuesday morning, removing my son from my life on paper, the same way he'd removed me from his driveway, completely and without regret. The house sold in 10 days. A young couple, mid-30s, 2 kids. They walked through on a Saturday morning, fell in love with the bone of the place, the yard, the neighborhood, the potential. They made a cash offer Sunday evening, full asking price. I accepted Monday morning. Dennis handled the closing. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to walk through those rooms one more time. The memories were already packed away. The house was just a structure now. I kept Eleanor's photo albums, her wedding ring, a few pieces of furniture I'd built myself, a bookshelf, a coffee table. The rest I donated. Goodwill took 3 truckloads. Monica's furniture, the stuff she'd bought and abandoned in her panic, I had it hauled to the dump. The closing happened on a Wednesday. The couple signed the papers, handed over a cashier's check, and shook Dennis's hand. $340,000. I paid Dennis his fee, put the rest in savings. Then I asked Dennis to schedule another meeting. Will? He asked. Yeah. We met at his office Thursday afternoon. He already had the documents prepared. You're sure about this, Art? I nodded. Remove Jason entirely. Everything goes to Carol and her kids. Dennis typed, adjusted the language, and printed the new version. Any specific reason you want documented? No. Just remove him. You don't need to explain it to him? Leave a letter? I thought about that. Imagined Jason finding out after I was gone, reading some letter full of disappointment and hurt. No. He made his choice, I said. I'm making mine. Dennis slid the papers across the desk. I read through them carefully. My savings, my veterans' benefits, the life insurance policy, the truck, all of it to Carol and her children, Jason's name, gone, like he'd never existed. I signed. Dennis notarized, filed it quietly. Does Jason know? Dennis asked. No. Are you going to tell him? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Art, he's going to find out eventually. Let him. Dennis studied me. You're at peace with this. It wasn't a question. Yeah, I said. I am. Because the truth was, I'd already grieved Jason in that motel room, watching him choose Monica over me, over his mother's memory, over basic decency. I'd let him go. This was just paperwork. We shook hands. I left the office. That night, I booked a one-way flight to Florida. Carol had friends in Clearwater, knew a real estate agent. I'd been looking at condos online for weeks. Something small, on the water, no yard to maintain, no memories to haunt me. A fresh start. I was 68 years old. Eleanor was gone. Jason was gone. But I wasn't, and I still had life left to live. I packed the truck that weekend. Everything I owned fit in the bed and the cab. I was leaving Ohio, leaving the house, leaving the past, and I wasn't looking back. My son told me he loved me in a motel parking lot, and I looked him in the eye and said, "Then you should have acted like it when it mattered." And I drove away without looking back. I was loading the last of my things into the truck when Jason's car pulled in. It was the day before I left for Florida. Early in the morning, the sun was just coming up. I didn't stop packing, just kept loading boxes, duffel bags, the few pieces of furniture I was taking with me. Jason got out of his car slowly. He looked worse than the last time I'd seen him. Thinner, grayer, older. Dad. I set a box in the truck bed. Didn't turn around. Dad, please, can we talk? I stopped. Stood there, hands on the tailgate. Then I faced him. Talk. He stepped closer. His hands were shaking. I'm divorcing Monica. I didn't react. I see it now. What she did. What I let happen. How wrong it all was. His voice cracked. Dad, I'm so sorry. I should have stood up for you. I should have stopped her. I didn't know how. I studied his face. I looked for the truth, for remorse. All I saw was a man who'd lost everything and finally understood why. You're sorry because you lost Jason, not because you were wrong. He flinched. That's not true, isn't it? You stood by while Monica changed the locks. You stayed silent when she threw your mother's pictures in the trash. You ignored my calls for 6 weeks. I kept my voice even, calm. You only came back when your marriage fell apart and you realized you'd burned the only bridge that mattered. Dad, I know I screwed up. You didn't screw up, Jason. You made a choice. Every single day, you chose her over me, over your mother's memory, over basic decency. His eyes filled with tears. I was trying to keep my marriage together, at my expense. I know. He was crying now, openly. I know, and I hate myself for it. But Dad, I love you. I've always loved you. I got lost. I looked at this man, my son, the boy I'd raised, taught to ride a bike, helped with homework, walked through his first heartbreak, and I felt nothing. Jason, you told me I should move out permanently, from the house I owned, the house I built. You asked me to work something out so Monica wouldn't have to face consequences. I was wrong. You stood in a motel parking lot and asked me to negotiate my own surrender. My voice didn't rise. I didn't need to. And now you're here, crying, because you finally lost something that mattered to you. Dad, please, then you should have acted like it when it mattered. I turned, climbed into the truck, started the engine. Jason stepped forward, put his hand on the door. Dad, don't do this. Don't leave like this. Please. I looked at him one last time. Goodbye, Jason. I pulled out of the parking lot. In the rearview mirror, I watched him standing there, shoulders shaking, face in his hands. I drove to the highway, and I didn't look back. I'm 68 years old, sitting on my balcony watching dolphins in the Gulf, and for the first time since Eleanor died, I'm not waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm just living. Clearwater is everything I needed it to be. Quiet, warm, anonymous. I bought a condo on the 4th floor, 2 bedrooms, balcony overlooking the Gulf, paid cash, no mortgage, no ties. Every morning, I walk the beach at sunrise. The sand's white, the water's clear, and there's something healing about watching the waves come in, steady and predictable. I joined a woodworking club, bunch of retired guys who meet twice a week in a community shop. We build furniture, birdhouses, small projects. Nobody asks too many questions. Nobody pities me. They know I'm widowed. They know I moved here for a fresh start. That's enough. One of them, a guy named Tom, introduced me to his neighbor, Ruth. She's 70, a widow herself, sharp sense of humor, independent. We have coffee sometimes, go to dinner. Nothing serious, just companionship. It's nice. Carol visits twice a year, brings her grandkids. We spend the week on the beach, eating seafood, watching sunsets. She doesn't bring up Jason. Neither do I. I think about Eleanor every day, but it's different now, softer. I remember her garden, her laugh, the way she'd hum while she cooked. The memories don't hurt anymore. They just are. Jason tried calling once, about 3 months after I left Ohio. I looked at the screen, thought about answering. Then I blocked the number. No anger, no guilt, just peace. The sun sets over the Gulf every evening, turning the water gold and orange and pink. I sit on my balcony with a beer, watch the dolphins swim by, listen to the waves. And for the first time in a year, I'm not waiting for anything. I'm just here, living, and that's enough. If you're in a situation like mine, betrayed, displaced, doubted, remember this. The deed is just paper, but your dignity is forever, and no one can take that unless you hand it to them. I want to leave you with a few things I learned. First, trust your gut. If something feels wrong, it is wrong. I ignored every warning sign because I loved my son, and it nearly cost me everything. Second, protect your documents. Know where your deed is, your will, your important papers. Don't assume family will respect your property just because they're family. Third, family is behavior, not blood. The people who stand by you, who support you, who honor you, those are your family. DNA doesn't obligate anyone to treat you with dignity. Fourth, grief makes you vulnerable. Predators know this. They wait until you're weak, distracted, emotionally exhausted. Then they strike. Don't let guilt or sadness override your rights. Fifth, possession isn't law. The title is. Monica thought living in my house made it hers. She was wrong. Know your legal standing. Protect it. And finally, you don't owe toxic people your peace. I spent 7 weeks watching Monica parade through my house, posting about her dream life, erasing me from the story. It hurt, but it also showed me exactly who she was and who my son had become. Now I want to hear from you. What would you have done? Would you have acted sooner? Waited longer? Comment below. Share your story. If this resonated with you, hit the like button. Let me know you understand. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because there are more stories like this, more lessons, more truth. I'm not angry anymore. I'm free. And if you're watching this from a motel room somewhere, wondering if you'll ever feel whole again, you will. Choose yourself. Protect what's yours. Live well. That's the best revenge.